Even just judging from the sports, China's a strong case for saying it's hosted one of the best Olympics ever. So many world records broken, it's almost ridiculous. From land to water, the planet's best athletes gave their best performances right here. But the big winner was China. The host country won a whopping 51 gold medals, one of the best showing by a host country if you don't count 1980 when the U.S. boycotted Soviet Union's games and 1984 when Soviet Union boycotted the United States games. The U.S. had won the most gold medals in every Olympics since 1996. Not this year. They only grabbed 36, although they got the most overall medals. It was a great showing for China, even though Liu Xiang withdrew. Gold after gold, and China did or almost swept everything in gymnastics, diving, table tennis, and weightlifting. A tall order if Great Britain expects to do as well as China in 4 years' time. The Olympics will officially end with a closing ceremony, which will start at 8 right after the news. My colleague Mona Lam is at one of Beijing's most popular tourist spots, Wang Fujing. Mona?
Hi, Jimmy. We're only less than half an hour away from the closing ceremony, and as you can see, Wang Fujing is packed right now. People here are expecting a huge TV screen in this area to be switched on later so they can watch the closing ceremony live on TV. The closing ceremony will mark the end of the Beijing Olympics, which the International Olympic Committee's honorary president, Antonio Samaranch, has called the best summer games ever.
It's the biggest Olympic Games ever. Some 11,400 sportsmen from all over the world competed in the Beijing Olympics, including 639 athletes from the national team. There's also a massive force of volunteers. 1.7 million people of all ages have contributed their efforts to the Summer Games for the past months. The number of volunteers is about 1/4 of Hong Kong's population. The media centers are always packed. Over 30,000 journalists, the biggest group ever, have been covering the Beijing Games. New stadiums, new train routes, new airport terminals. Mainland authorities spent some 290 billion yuan on infrastructure projects in preparation for the 2008 Games. That's double the amount spent on the Athens Games 4 years ago. The Olympics have been an opportunity for Beijing to show the world the best of the city. So what do visitors think about the Chinese capital?
I like the way that everything is it's clean, everybody's very friendly. I think the parks are beautiful.
The buildings are so fantastic and so beautiful.
Sporting facility, of course.
Nick has been teaching English in Shandong province in the past year. He said what the Beijing Games impressed him the most is not the city's infrastructure, but how China can mobilize so many people for an event.
The volunteer work actually does impress me a lot. The enthusiasm was there before, but I think the Olympics gave them a chance to really take part in something on a national level.
He thinks it will be difficult for the United States to get 1 million people to work together on one project like the Olympic Games.
Now, there will be a massive firework display across Beijing tonight. There are going to be fireworks at Tiananmen Square, tourist sites such as Hohai and Chaoyang Park, and even in the suburbs. And for those of you in Hong Kong, stay tuned to TVB for a live broadcast of the extravaganza. That's all from me here in Beijing. Back to the Hong Kong studio.
Yeah, thanks to our teams there in Beijing for bringing us the action. We had it all. Thanks, guys. Now, my colleague Emma Jones with local news.
Yes, and in other news, the live rat was found in the water of the Chung Kwan O swimming pool this morning, forcing the closure of the main pool there for 3.5 hours. Priscilla reports.
A rat was found swimming in the main pool of the Chung Kwan O swimming pool complex at around 7 this morning. Staff members cordoned off the pool and captured the rodent, which died afterwards. After disinfecting the water with chlorine, the pool was reopened to the public at 10:15 a.m. The Leisure and Culture